What does it mean to be socially awkward? It's kind of weird because it's one of those words where you know what it looks like when you see it, but it can be a little hard to describe. It could be not knowing how to make small talk, not being able to read social cues and understand when you should and shouldn't say something, or it can be an utter disaster like the subject of our video today. Watamote's main character, Tomoko Kuroki, is not just a case of being a little socially inept. Oh no! Tomoko is a case study in extreme social anxiety. We're talking about crippling fear of human interaction. Now, if you haven't seen Watamote, it's available on Crunchyroll and Amazon, and it's a relatively quick watch with only 12 episodes in Season 1, with Season 2 on the way. Eventually? Maybe? But even if you've never seen this anime, there's quite a bit we can glean from Tomoko's attempts to overcome her fears and change her situation. And this girl tries, and she tries hard. But does her way work? What can Watamote show us about social anxiety and conquering it? I'm the guidance guy, and let's take a look. And naturally, watch out for them spoilers for Watamote. And don't forget to do the YouTube thing. Like, subscribe if you're new here, and ring that bell so that whenever a new video comes out, you're not the last to know. Now, let's do this. Now, before we get too deep into this, I do want to say that Watamote, as both a manga and an anime, is a dark comedy. It takes the scenario of a girl who is suffering from social anxiety and takes every opportunity for laughs where it can. And as such, watching this anime is not for everyone. Not in the "your discretion is advised" kind of way, because how Watamote handles the issue of social anxiety can be seen either as mean-spirited or as making fun of those in Tomoko's situation. I tried looking around to see the writer's intent for Watamote, but couldn't find anything concrete. But as for me, watching Watamote was like looking into a mirror of my younger self. Cause listen, I was awkward as balls in middle school, and seeing a fictional character go through some of the same struggles I went through, knowing that I made it to the other side and improved as a person, is extremely cathartic. But for others, watching this may bring up memories and feelings that frankly shouldn't be confronted while watching a piece of entertainment. I wanted to put this disclaimer up here now, so if you feel like just watching this video was enough, then that's cool. Alright, disclaimer over. Let's get into this. Watamote covers the life of our awkward friend Tomoko as she goes through her first year in high school. Being fully aware that her anxieties had led her to being a reclusive loner, she's determined to start over fresh in high school. Not just to have friends or to know people, but she believes she could reach the top tier of the social hierarchy at school and become popular. Yet, as she goes through her life as a high school freshman, she realizes that her demons aren't just going to go away because she wants them to. This leads to her trying many tactics to either start a conversation with someone, to become integrated into the typical high school life, or just trying to make a friend. And unfortunately, she fails every single time. And in fact, season 1 ends with Tomoko appearing to have given up on her quest to become part of the high school elite. Now, I don't have a problem with that. You don't need to conform to whatever social situation you're in to find happiness. That part is okay. But what gets me is the fact that she not only stops trying to fit in, she stops trying to do the one thing that will benefit her the most. Beating her social anxiety, which would lead to all the other things that she wants in life. And frankly, that ending was straight up depressing for me. Seeing Tomoko try so hard to improve, to be better throughout the whole season, only to go, it doesn't matter, in the end? It makes me wonder how many students I may encounter that are in that same mentality. That they've tried to change, but ultimately gave up because they didn't see any progress in their struggle. So how can we not end up like Tomoko? Can we see where she went wrong and what we could do differently? Stay tuned! Before we move on, I want to make this quick aside as it applies not just to Tomoko's situation, but in ours as well. In our current landscape where mental health awareness is at a level we really haven't seen before, people know a lot more about these issues than we ever have in the past. And with this awareness comes a certain level of confusion. I'm sure most of you have heard of the term social anxiety before now, and you may have even shown a few signs of social anxiety at some point in your life. We all have. But there's a difference between being shy and having social anxiety. Being afraid to talk to someone you don't know doesn't necessarily mean you have social anxiety, because social anxiety is a condition that needs to be diagnosed and requires treatment through counseling or other mental health services in order to be overcome. So we need to be careful about when we use this term, and if you feel you have clinical social anxiety, please consult a medical professional for more information. But in regards to Tomoko, trust, she's got it. I've put a link in the description that lists the symptoms of social anxiety, but she shows them all. Physical nervousness in social scenarios, fast heartbeat, sweating, muscle tension, as well as avoiding situations where she can be potentially judged. It's all there. And I went off on that little tangent a little earlier to emphasize the fact that Tomoko needed professional help. There are times when our issues can be resolved with willpower and by battling it out on our own. But there are times that we need someone else with a degree to walk us through it. That doesn't make you weak or incapable. In fact, it makes you strong. It means that you're self-aware enough to know your limits and when you need assistance. It's easy to front and pretend that you don't need anybody, but it requires real courage to rely on others. Tomoko never sought out anything beyond the occasional quick talk from her brother about a very specific issue. She needed to go to a school counselor or talk to her parents about going to the doctor. That should have been her first step. Second, she needed to establish a support system. Now, Tomoko may say that she doesn't have any friends, but in reality that really wasn't the case. She has always had at least one close friend, you. She may not go to Tomoko's school anymore, but they knew each other all the way back in middle school and they understand each other. There's no reason why Tomoko couldn't confide in you about what was going on in her life, about how she feels high school is going. But she never did that. Tomoko tries to pump herself up and create this whole story about how popular she is, knowing that it's all a lie. When we struggle in life, we need the right people around us to have our backs and to support us through whatever it is we're going through. You is a perfect example of that. She's kind, understanding, and willing to listen. That's the kind of person that we need who will support us, whom we can trust, and who will be real with us. And this leads us to the trait that binds this whole thing together. You need to have determination. Up until that last episode, Tomoko kept trying. She came up with all these ideas to make friends, to make changes that she needed to improve. And having that never quit attitude is the glue that holds all the other factors together. Because even with professional and emotional help, none of those things can do the job for you. You need to be willing to get up and keep trying after every failed attempt. You need to see your goal and will yourself there. But the truth is, if determination is all you have, then that's not enough. And Watamote shows us that. You can persevere all you want to reach a goal and come up with all these ideas, but without proper guidance to show how to tackle your problems with the best approach and emotional support to be there for you in those moments, it's like having only one piece of the Triforce. Sure, it's better than nothing, but you can't say that you have everything you need. And in our lives, we need to make sure that we have all the pieces as well to be victorious in our own struggles. Hopefully, whatever inner struggle you're dealing with won't require a diagnosis. It may be just learning how to interact with people you don't know, or having confidence in who you are. But if you feel that you need that extra help, don't be afraid to seek out professional help. And I know I say this in a lot of my videos, but it's because it's true. You don't have to face your demons alone. Tomoko tried her absolute hardest to do what she could to improve her situation and to improve herself. But as we go through the series, what we see is that there's only so much you can accomplish by yourself. There's always at least one person who is willing to listen and to care. And frankly, one is really all you need. They can be with you physically if they can, or barring that, will support you in whatever way they can. And make sure that they're honest with you too. If they need to bust your chops for your own good, make sure they're willing to do that and they don't just sugarcoat everything. And lastly, having that determination is what will make or break your battle. Do you know why you're making this change? What's your end game? What does your better future look like? The answers to those questions is what will keep you going when you think you've tapped out and you don't have anything more to give. Because whether it's social awkwardness, fear of failure, or anything else, you hold the keys to your success. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what other characters and franchises you'd like me to discuss next. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video is ready. Until next time.